I wanted to do something a little bit different today, and I do have some notes over here on my laptop that I might refer to, but I just wanted to have a conversation with you. I'm not going to do any editing on this video. I just want to talk to you as if you were right here uh, in front of me. Um, there's a conversation I've had probably 1,000 times this year with different people, and it goes something like this. Well, how can I help? And my response, I don't know. And the hardest part, honestly, is that I really don't know what will help. And I sit and I think, God, if I only had an ailment or a sickness that could be seen and that could be fixed, why can't it be like a broken arm where you just put a cast on it and within a couple weeks it's better? As many of you know, I struggle with depression, with bipolar, with anxiety, and with OCD. And with mental health, you read the books, you adjust your medications, you do the checklist, you do everything that you're supposed to be doing. But at any moment, just right around the corner, there's depression again, there's anxiety again, just waiting to strip away any happiness that you might have. And each time you do one of these new things, each time you start a new medication or um, read a new book, you think, well, this time it's going to work, this time it's going to help. And then when it doesn't help, you feel even worse, like maybe I'm beyond repair. And the hardest thing about mental health is that it is a battle, and it's a lifelong battle. Again, it's not something that you can have a surgery for and fix. It's a lifelong battle, and for many of us, myself included, we begin to think that it needs to be this silent battle, that it needs to be something that we keep inside. And at the end of this conversation, what I really want to get across is the need to talk to somebody, to write about it, to tell someone that you're struggling if you are struggling. It doesn't have to be silent. And the thing about depression, the thing about mental health, is that it thrives in silence. When we stay silent, when we don't talk, when we don't share, it just grows and grows and grows and becomes worse and worse and worse. Now, you might not be talking to someone because you feel like you don't know how to articulate what you're feeling. And so let me provide some some tips. And this comes from the International Association for Suicide Prevention. I'm not saying you're suicidal. I'm not saying anything like that. But these are good tips. These are things that you can say to someone that will help. The first one is, when you get a chance, can you contact me? I really feel alone and could use some support. That's simple. Text that, email that, whatever it is. Call somebody, say that. Or, I don't want to die, but I don't know how to live. Talking with you may help me feel safe. Are you free to talk? And shorten that down. If it's not something with suicide, just say, I need to talk. I need to feel safe. Are you free to talk? The other one would be, this is really hard for me to say, but I'm having painful thoughts and it might help to talk. Are you free? And this is one that I've used, and I'll share a little bit about this in just a minute. But I'm struggling right now and I just need to talk to someone. Can we chat? If, if you are struggling, let me suggest you use some of these phrases. If you're someone who has a friend or a family member or a loved one who's struggling, let me ask you to listen as they share these phrases and just be there. I want to share 3 experiences I've had in my life where I've opened my mouth and begun the conversation around depression. The first one I'll share with you because I think it's really sweet. I don't want you to think that I dumped all my issues on my son or anything like that, but when he was maybe 4 or 5, I truly don't remember the age. I was really stressed one night, after work and all these things, and I said, I'm just real stressed, buddy. That's all. And he goes, well, what are you stressed about? And I said, oh, it's a million things, man. And he just looked at me and he said, well, tell me them. And I didn't go on to spill to my son, because he's my son and that's not his role or anything like that. But that being there, that saying, well, tell me them, that ability and that desire to just listen as I was struggling meant so much to me. Another experience I had was a few years ago. I think it was in 2020 or 2021, and I was in a really dark place. The depression was insurmountable. It felt, and tons of anxiety. And at the time, I hadn't started medications. I wasn't taking medications, and it got to the point that I drugged myself to a provider, to a mental health nurse practitioner. And when I went in and told her what was going on, the first thing she said was, "Thank you for telling me." That's all she said, was, "Thank you for telling me." And this weight lifted off my chest. I could finally get these thoughts and these feelings out. And that meant the world to me. The other one happened much more recently. Um, it, I felt depression mounting, and it was getting worse and worse and worse despite the meds, despite everything. And so one morning I just texted my family. I said, "Hey, I need someone here." And my dad was able to come, and he was able to be here. And it was hard for him being here. It was a lot of that. Well, what should I be doing? Should I be working on a project, cleaning, helping with something? And I said, "I don't know. I just need someone here." And I'll share one more experience. I have a sister, my oldest sister, who will text me every now and then when she knows that I'm maybe going through a particularly hard moment. She'll say, "How you doing? What are you up to?" And like that. And just having someone there can mean the world. And so if you're going through something, or if you have a friend who's going through something, keep in mind the how much it can mean to just have somebody there, even if you're not able to articulate, or even if they're not able to articulate. Being there is oftentimes what matters more than anything. I want to share one last story, and I've shared this story before, but it's a story that came from a farmer here in Oregon, where I live, and he recounted this story to me of a time that a hawk came in and was attacking his chickens. By instinct, the chickens fluff their feathers and push their chests out so they can appear much larger than they are and try to intimidate the hawk so that he doesn't attack them. So the farmer inside the house heard all the commotion, came running outside, and they picked up one of the chickens um, with his chest puffed out. Now, this chicken was clearly hysterical. It was completely, fully extended. Um, and they were unable to calm the chicken, and it continued to attempt to fluff its chest out. And what happened was the chest cavity actually ruptured, and the chicken died. Our response a lot of times, and that's a weird story, but our response a lot of times to mental health issues is the same. We puff our chest out. We walk around trying to appear invincible and strong. We want those around us to think that we're fine. We think that this response makes us look strong. But what I want to do is I want to invite you to relax and stop trying to appear strong. If you truly have no one, feel free to share in the comments or to email us. But stop trying to appear strong. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to talk about it. Just because it's not a broken arm or something that surgery can fix, or something that people can see, doesn't mean that you're not struggling. It's okay to talk about. And if you have loved ones who are struggling, it's okay to be there for them, and it's okay to be a safe place for them as they struggle. Um, Especially as nurses, especially working in this field of healthcare, we need to begin normalizing the ability to talk about mental health struggles. So please take a moment, reach out to someone who you know is struggling, or if you are struggling, reach out to someone who loves you and who cares about you. You might think there's no one out there who does, but there are people who do care about you. And please take a moment to do that. We're all in this together. This isn't some sort of competition. We're all trying to get through this as a shared community of nurses and people and humans. Okay. I guess that's kind of all I have to share with you today, but I want you to know that we love you. We do care about you. I share my experiences in hopes that they will help you. And that's a lot of the reason for doing nursing.com, is to provide confidence to you in your darkest moments. So we love you. Go out and be your best self. Happy nursing.